All right, guys, welcome back to the Soda Citizen podcast, where we're talking about everything Columbia. And today we've got some really good friends. Actually, let me step back. I've got a really good friend here. This is Mary Lane Sloan.
Hi.
She's the co-host. We really don't have our stuff together on this yet, so we're working on it.
Just putting the car together as we go down the road.
Yeah. But today, joining us, Margaret Dean's Grantz and Kelsey Carter, who is helping us talk about Camp Cole today, right? I just watched the names.
No, you did great.
Did I?
Okay. You did great.
Well, see, I have a double name.
She has a long name.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yeah. No, that's great. It's just like, you
Like,
never
what were
know.
my parents thinking?
Is it a double name?
It's a double first name.
Yeah, I
Margaret
got you too,
Deans.
boo. Mary Lane,
Yeah.
yes.
We used to have
And,
5 double Marys here. It was a lot for a while.
It's just so hard to introduce yourself.
And if you have a last name, a second name's kind of like a last name,
Correct.
people are like, oh, I'm... Oh,
Right.
and I'm like, no, it's
and
Margaret
it's
Deans.
not
And they're like,
hyphenated, so they don't realize they go together.
And-
well, we're so glad to have y'all here.
Absolutely.
Why don't y'all tell us a little bit about Camp Cole for those of us that are listening that have no idea what that is?
Yeah, so, well, first and foremost, thank y'all for having us today. And the Art of Real Estate has supported Camp Cole from the very beginning. So thank y'all for believing in the dream that Margaret Deans and I really had the privilege of honoring a dream that was my mother's. So prior to all of this, way back when, Cole was my brother, who the camp is named after. And when he was 10 years old, he was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. And through that diagnosis, we really, got to see what health and all of that really entails.
Yeah.
And we got to see the way that affected the entire family.
Right.
And so we were offered an opportunity to go to camp. We took that opportunity and it changed our lives. And that's really what Camp Cole is all about. So unfortunately, Cole passed away after that camp experience, but I will never forget the impact that it made on his life and for our family. My mom became really passionate. I was a camper past Cole, then turned counselor with Margaret Deans. And so we were just really passionate about this community and knowing just being a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And at a time where I felt like school and church and neighborhoods and my community didn't understand what I was going through, I had this home and this group of people who did understand. And so that's what Camp Cole is really all about, is really providing that place, that safe place for people to come together and really connect in similarities that they have no matter what they're faced with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And is it a year-round camp? People can go year-round?
So we're a facility that's open year-round, and especially in 2026 and beyond, we're really trying to tell the story that Camp Cole is more than a camp. We are a summer camp, and that's what we started as, to be a place where kids can just be a kid, and for a day, a week, a weekend, they can step outside what's their normal, which is usually a hospital room or therapies or being the only one in their home, their church, their neighborhood who has cancer or has a rare genetic disorder. The family is dealing with that as well, and they can just be a kid for a day. So camp in the summer, it's just like any other summer camp. If you have a kid that goes to Gravette or Elahi or Greystone or anything, we're doing those exact same activities. We just are serving people with unique needs, and we have found the way to build Camp Cole to serve that. And so year-round, we're doing the same thing. We're doing bereavement camps. We're doing family weekends. We're hosting field trips. We're working with businesses and having sales conferences. We're with churches, really. We have a women's conference coming up in 2 weekends. So really just being a place where people can come together is really what Camp Cole is all about. And more than a camp, but really providing that camp opportunity for everybody year-round to feel that connection and hope too sometimes.
Right. I love that. So, I mean, you could have opened your camp anywhere, right? So why here?
Columbia's been home for Margaret Deans and I. This was where Cole was diagnosed. This was where we both put down roots. I moved away for a little bit. And
But we pulled you back.
I'm a fifth generation Columbia girl, so I know no different in life than Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah.
So I went
Nor
to
do you want to.
I know. Do I went to Wofford for 4 years, but came right back home, and so I think Columbia. I'm Columbia's biggest fan. So and for us, for Camp Cole, I mean, we joke about that, but to be a place, we serve the entire state and beyond. We actually had a camper who drove from Texas to be able to be served in Columbia. And so we are the center of the state, and we are able to provide so much. And some of our campers, when they drop their kid off, they're experiencing Columbia. They're asking us, what should I do while my kid's at camp? And so to be in the center of the state, people might go to the beach for a day or two, but they're also going to the zoo. They're experiencing what Columbia has to offer, and that's been really exciting. And again, being able to serve the entire state, everybody can come to us for a weekend because you're not driving across the state to get there after work. We can really serve everybody. And the people have rallied around Columbia, and they have, rallied behind Camp Cole, and they have believed in us from the beginning. So many people also didn't believe in us, but so many people said, y'all can do it. Columbia can do this. And our first capital campaign was $10 million. And people said, you'll never be able to raise that in Columbia. Columbia can't support that. Columbia didn't have the infrastructure.
Watch this.
Yeah.
And we said, watch this. We said, why not us? Why can't we do this? Our community deserves it. And to be a place that highlights and screams inclusivity and accessibility in Columbia is also something we're so proud of, because that might not be something that people think of when they say here Columbia. It's not maybe inclusivity, but to have a place in Columbia that is truly so inclusive is something we're really proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in Columbia. A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, they think of Charleston, they think the pomp and circumstance of the peninsula and stuff, but Columbia will humble you real quick if you underestimate how much.
And the people are so giving.
Well,
they're here for the community, and they want the community to be a better place. And a lot of people in Columbia stay in Columbia, and they want to see it grow and thrive and be a place for everyone. And so why not Columbia?
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that makes Columbia so unique is we are a city, right? But I think we live more like a friendly town. You can't go anywhere without seeing somebody you know or somebody your mama knows. And so I think when it comes to giving or rallying behind a cause, that is also what makes Columbia so interesting and I think more special than maybe a bigger city is that it's easier to find and connect with the people that care about a cause.
And there's pride.
Yeah.
You find from South Carolinians and from individuals who call Columbia home a lot of pride in it. And Brad, you talked about it so elegantly. You've got the
so elegantly.
She's just trying to be nice now.
Oh boy.
You've got the agriculture that's so heavily in the low country, and then in the upstate, you've got so much new economic businesses and the booming landscape. And so there was a lot of resistance and questioning whether or not we were going to make it, because you have your highest volume of nonprofits in the center of the Columbia area and in the Midlands. And that's where we have such a unique opportunity to really partner alongside, not be in competition with one another, and really focus on raising each other up. Yeah. And I think that's unique to us.
How was it starting the business? I mean, we're obviously all small business people here, and how was it for y'all going through that journey? Was it something like you kind of had background in? You're like, all right, I got this. There's
it's a real gem, isn't it? It's a real gem.
Great.
Yeah,
you need
Kelsey
so hard.
is a teacher by education, and I was a business major at Wofford, but I went into nonprofit, and so
you had a leg up on us. I was education. You were women's studies.
Criminology.
Criminology.
Women's studies is my side
At least
hustle.
one of you had a business class.
Anybody at Wofford,
That's right.
if I was a good business student, they would be like, "Oh hell no!"
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. But it was grit and grind. This was Kelsey's mom's dream.
Yeah.
Before. The conversation really kind of got started in 2015, and
that was a fun year here with the flood.
Yeah. So Camp Chemo, what people don't really know about camp is that, or camps that serve all the different populations that we work with, is that they're all camps. So they all have Camp Chemo, Camp Impact, these different camp names, but they don't have a physical location.
Okay.
They've been going to different camps across the state, trying to figure out the place for them. And
so it's similar to Make-A-Wish. Right, it's not like Make-A-Wish doesn't have their own physical location.
It's a program.
Right,
and so, but everybody assumes that if you're a camp, you already have your camp location.
Right.
And so, Camp Chemo had been going to all these different camps before, and a group of us really, we were like, God, there has to be more. These camps are great, but they're not accessible. There's not the proper medical care facilities, and so there's got to be more. And so, Kelsey's mom really started this drive, this charge that I was looking for. And, we were looking at different places, and the land that Camp Cole is on now kind of came up. And sadly, Kelsey's mom passed away. And after that, Kelsey and I really picked up her notebooks. We picked up her notebooks and just were reading the scribble, and was like, what, Stacey, what were you thinking? How are we going to kind of figure this out? So we really did a lot of research first. It really wasn't business based. We just researched the communities, the camps, other camps, and like tried to figure out if it was even needed. You know, are we going to spin our wheels? And they told, I think Kelsey, I thought it would be like $2 million and
Just
$3 million.
kidding.
And we were like, whoa, okay. So now we really need to make sure it's going to be what the community needs.
Right.
And so it was really a lot of research, and we were both working other jobs. So we would stay up and on the weekends, and I don't even know how we did it looking back, but we
Crazy.
figured it out and, you know, really just like grind and had a lot of great mentors that, you know, we spent our first dollars ever on marketing dollars and hired a lady named Kim Bowman with K-Hope Creative who really helped us, you know, learn. You got to sell your brand, and people got to believe in you are a dream. So you got to show
really
something.
right.
People got to believe in. You can't go with a little piece of paper and ask someone for $1 million. Like you need to have that and be confident. And like your brand is going to say that. And I think that's something that has stuck with us from the very beginning. It's like we're building a brand, and that has been something that's probably made a big difference. Kelsey and I designed a logo to start, and she was like,
no,
that's really cute.
Good try. That was a good try. Yeah. And you're like, and I did.
Let me.
Like, it's got camp all over
I
it.
love it.
Have a tent. We don't even have tent.
What color?
Like, why did it have a tent? I don't know. But, you know, and then like getting your 501c3, you know, that was really on Kelsey, but like we called every single day.
Yeah,
like,
that's not easy to get.
Like,
either.
when are you going to tell us?
Yeah.
IRS, listen.
Let's go.
I think it's just going back to like belief in your mission.
Yeah.
You know, we just were so passionate and knew. So, you know, Margaret Deans was a camp counselor at Camp Chemo for 10 plus years. And, you know, when you see a teenage boy, you know, struggle to get from one place to another because he just, you know, lost his limb due to osteosarcoma, you know, it really humbles you and it really sets you back to say, oh my goodness, the things like health that I take for granted. And if we all could just put a little bit more attention and a little bit more time and pour in a little bit more details, we could make the world a better place. And so I think staying true to that and staying true to knowing that our populations deserve better. We get asked all the time, this doesn't look like a camp.
Yeah.
You know, this is not the nostalgic tent.
Right.
You know, and we said, well, yes, because why don't children experiencing homelessness, why don't children with epilepsy or Tourette's, children who've experienced severe burns, children with neuromuscular disease, families who've just experienced an unimaginable loss, why don't they deserve something beautiful?
Yeah.
That's built for them with intention and inclusivity and accessibility, but also is worthy of them. And so I think just staying true to that and just not taking no for an answer, you know, is money and economic development in Columbia is a really rough landscape and larger than Columbia, the Midlands area as a whole. I was once told, you know, if you can make it in Columbia, you can technically make it anywhere because the taxes are so high, the consumers are cheap, and cost of living is. So you're up against uphill battles, but if you can grind it out and have that grit and stay true, you can do it. And that's the community has really, to Margaret Deans' point, believed in a dream that became tangible. And now that they've seen the tangible impact that it's made, it's just been overwhelming. The support.
So how do you stay funded? Like, how do you make?
They're going to ask you for a check.
as they should. But at the same time, like,
we're all individually and privately funded. We businesses, individuals, foundations. That's how we get funded. We're not state funded, so we just the community, the people.
Yeah.
We do, and that's just the beauty of Columbia right there, you know, and makes it really special.
It's got to be the scary part too, though, right? I mean, like floods and everything else. I've been like mentioned earlier, like it can dry up pretty quickly. And it's like, all right, where do I pivot next? So, what is y'all's goals coming up? Like, what are y'all's plans to keep going?
Some really great events.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main ways.
Okay.
Cool.
You know, is to
Let's hear about those.
get Camp Coles to out in the community. We still are a relatively new nonprofit. You know, we opened up our doors
About to have our 5-year birthday.
yes, you know, the summer of
Our fifth birthday.
2021. We're so excited, you know, to say that we've served over 11,000 individuals through our mission and through Camp Cole. But as Margaret Deans just mentioned, like we're just getting started. So the constant need for funding, because we do subsidize a portion of camp for every single camper that walks through our doors.
Right.
And through having businesses come out and do their corporate retreats, that revenue that we're able to bring in, we can just turn straight into camper scholarships because we are taking, children with very unique needs, with very different medical complexities.
Sure.
And it's expensive to put a child into a zero entry pool, to have a state-of-the-art medical care facility, to have accessible archery equipment, for the arts and crafts programming to have, different mediums that really play into the needs of our campers, to have the staff to support that. Events is one major way through big gifts that create, to that camper scholarship fund. So just diverse ways to give to Camp Cole, but our events are super fun too.
We work really hard on our events to make them unique but fun, and that people have really. We do a lot of music events.
I was going to say, why don't you speak about that a little bit? Because for people that either are familiar or aren't that are listening, I think some of the events you do really have become like Columbia traditions. They're events people look forward to.
That's really sweet. Well, we have a new one in March that's really exciting to talk about on this podcast because Columbia should be so proud of this event that's coming up. And I would love for y'all to come. But there's a brand out of New York called Olivia, and it is a brand that highlights adults with disabilities, and they create all the art for the fashion design. So Giovanna, who has become a dear friend of mine, is the designer, and we connected on Instagram after I was wearing one of her dresses, and she picked Camp Cole as her organization she wanted to work with for the fall 2025 into the summer collection. And so 4 Columbia women are the artists and the designers for this collection, and they have created. We held an open call, and people came out and drew, and it was really special to be able to spend time with these individuals and to see their magic come out on paper and what they wanted to show. And Giovanna she selected 4 of them and has taken that and turned them into gorgeous clothes that are sold in boutiques all across the nation. And it's just really unbelievable. And it's an event I'm probably most proud of because we're going to have a fashion show. And Giovanna's coming down. It's with Olivia. And these 4 women will get to be seen for who they are as a person and not what they've been defined by their entire life. And everybody that gets to come to the fashion show is going to get to see their clothes, their designs, and really just shine. And it is going to be really special.
Where will the fashion show be?
It's at Camp Cole. It's at Camp Cole. We try to do all of our events at Camp Cole. We try to do as many of our events as possible at Camp Cole because we get the opportunity to show people
it off,
what camp is and where we are. And so it'll be at Camp Cole. We have an incredible Southeastern Freight Line Activity Center that has this huge gym with an accessible stage. So they'll walk down the runway, and Tanner from Love on the Spectrum is the MC. There's some other exciting things that I'm not sure I can announce yet, but it's just going to be amazing. And there will be all types of people walking in the fashion show, moms, daughters, little kids, just a really special night that we will get to show the world that people with disabilities are way more than what they're diagnosed with when they're born, and that they're capable of. I'm not capable of being a fashion designer, but these girls are. And so I'm really excited about it. But it's called the Design Shine Fashion Soirée, and it's on March 12th from 5:30 to 8:30 or 5:30 to 9. And we'll have a boutique, so you'll get to shop the clothes. There's even a local girl named Lucy Graham who has a jewelry company called the Upside Down Collection, and she'll be selling her jewelry there as well. Tanner will be there. The girls will have a meet and greet. It's going to be really cool.
That sounds
great.
Awesome.
It's unique too.
It's very unique.
It's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
What other events do y'all got coming on this year that we can kind of put on the
so we do a songwriters for Camp Cole. So Patrick Davis and friends come, and we do 3 nights of that. And he always brings Django Walker, who's Jerry Jeff Walker's son, if you're a Texas country fan. His wife Lauren comes to. Just all these different songwriters come. It's really, really neat. And then in December, we have the Peace, Love, and Camp Cole benefit concert. Or actually, it's in November now. Sorry, it was in December for years, and now it's in November. And we do that at Camp Cole. And it's our biggest event. It's not a gala because you don't have to wear a coat and tie, but it has that vibe where we do like an auction and a fun to need and make a big ask and play our Camp Cole video and then go inside and party and listen to last year it was Yacht Rock Reviews. So they're really exciting big events. So it's really great.
And then Pumpkin
Palooza is our we wanted to do an event that was to the community as well. And so we do a trick-or-treating event called Pumpkin Palooza that is a free community event, but different businesses and organizations set up booths and the kids trick or treat to them. And it's community wide. I mean, you have people from, it's really beautiful to see people from Hopkins and the Eastover community and people from downtown all coming to get trick or treating. Yeah. And so last year we had like probably 400 people there. Oh, wow. It was wild, but it's really fun.
So tell me a little bit about the corporate rental aspect of it. You talked about like the corporate retreat, stuff like that. And I think that's obviously a good thing to talk about. We're actually been talking about that. We've got to find a place in February. So as soon as we get off this podcast, I'm going to see what your calendar looks like. Poor planning on my part. But yeah, so what have people done out there? What is the ability for corporate retreats?
Yeah, so the campus itself just really lends for a little bit of everything, which is so unique. And so we've done a variety of different things. We've done anything from Collier's International coming out with over 200 people and having their massive awards banquet to then having Hammond Schools come out and do their board retreat. So it really kind of moves and grooves. Camp Cole does in a variety of different ways. So we sit down with you, and like I mentioned, we treat you just like our nonprofit partners, which what's your mission and what's your vision? Right. What do you want this event to look like here at Camp Cole, and how do we help you bring that to life? So do you want just the physical, the site and the location and the facilities, and you want us to make sure that, they're comfortable and set up in this way and then hands off? Or do you want us to come in and lead sessions? Yeah. Do you want us to come in and do a team building activity or do archery? Or do you want to do a community service project out at Camp Cole? That's been something really unique that our business partners have really enjoyed. So they'll come out, host a meeting, professional development, any kind of offerings like that. And then they'll leave about an hour or 2 hours to do a project out at Camp Cole. So building benches, painting, anything real beautification facility-wise, writing letters to campers, kind of, all these different ways to serve our campers out at Camp Cole so that they feel like, we're out here, but we understand why we're out here. Yeah. So it's something bigger than ourselves. So everything kind of really, we build it based on what you want and what you want it to look like. And we kind of have a menu of offerings available, but we really want to make your vision come to life, and that's how we feel like we can be the best partner to you. Yeah. Is your organization, your constituents best, and their needs best. So share that with us, and we'll come to the table and really be able to provide that program for you that looks best.
Very cool.
And we have a full, like I said, the activity center, which has a lot of breakout spaces. The gym itself, is huge. It's normal gym. Then we have a cafeteria. Our welcome center also has conference rooms, another breakout space, and then so much green space as well. So there's a lot of room for opportunity inside and outside. Yeah. And we get a lot of feedback from our corporate partners too. They feel like they get to unplug for a second. It takes about 20 minutes to get to Camp Cole, but so you're close enough if you need to get back in town, but also you can kind of unplug for a second and, put your phone up and like fish outside or just sit at the dock or have a conversation with somebody on a rocking chair that you don't get in your corporate life day to day. We go. But, for that, retreat or that half day, full day, whatever it is, you kind of get to unplug for a second and get to just, be outside and be
put your feet in the grass.
And be with your coworkers and kind of get to know them on a different level than like, will you answer this email? Like what does your calendar look like? All those things. It really helps that connection back to what we've built for our campers. We can give it back to our corporate partners as well.
Yeah. And then volunteers, corporate business leaders in the community coming out to volunteer to be here with the kids. That's always the best, is when they're able to come out and really see what Camp Cole is all about and witness it for themselves, the power of connection.
Now, I'm curious, did either one of you grow up going to camp, like summer camp?
Yes.
I hated camp.
You did?
Sure did.
No way. Yeah. That's okay.
Trying to sneak vodka
well,
in her.
I'm just curious.
Like,
I grew up going to summer camp, and I loved it,
Loved it.
I mean, now my mom ran a camp for DHEC till I was 9, cool. So I grew up spending my summers in a camp environment. So, I mean, I guess that helped. But then when I was old enough to go to camp, I mean, I loved summer camp. I would have lived there year round if somebody would have let me.
I get so jazzed. Back in Columbia, but I didn't want to leave my mom. So
my youngest one's a little bit
was
like
homesick, and I remember going to camp and crying for like the 14 days, and was like, I'm never doing this ever again. When I got older, I went to camp back in like into Gravit in middle school and like liked it again when I was younger. Like
not your jam. No, okay.
But I love though what camp teaches kids.
Yes.
And like I understand what my mom was trying to do.
Yes.
Was like get me independent and do things I don't typically do. Like I think that there's so much power in camp.
I do.
Which is back to the fundraising aspect, you know. Camp is expensive.
Yeah.
So it's also not meant for everybody. So for us to be able to build a space where, you know, one family might have a child who's, you know, can go or does go to one of the local camps, but they don't feel like they can send their other child there.
Sure.
Camp Cole is that place to be able to give every kid and every family that chance of camp and, you know, making it affordable as well and being able to, you know, some of our campers get 100%. So a lot of them do, you know, and being able to try, and that's our ultimate goal is to continue to provide camp as, you know, affordable as possible. And a big part of it.
So excuse my ignorance, but like, do y'all have like certain weeks that are kind of not themed, but like for a certain demographic? So, or do you try and intersperse people so it kind of feels like a more of a normal camp experience?
That's a great question. That was a good one.
Write that down.
So, it's just so our summer months is our favorite time of year because that's where we start our week-long overnight camps that go back to back to back. So we'll start with, as soon as school's out, first week in June, we start with our camp for children who are experiencing homelessness or have experienced homelessness and housing instability. So we'll start with over 100 campers that kind of have that
Mostly
background from the Midlands area. It is so powerful. It's amazing. Then we turn around and the next week we serve children who have cancer and their siblings, the camp that Cole and I had the privilege of going to, that Margaret Deans and I served as counselors. It's amazing. We'll see children, you know, all different stages of cancer.
All different
anything,
ages as well.
All different, they're 5 to 18.
Okay.
Each camp age different ranges.
Most of our
based
camps are about
on-
6 to 7 though.
Yeah.
18. Some are 8.
After that will be Camp Wonder Hands, and that's for camp for children who are deaf and hard of hearing. The camp after that is Camp Rise Above. That camp has a myriad of different disabilities, so we'll see anything from epilepsy, Tourette's, rare genetic disorders, brain tumors,
Kidney and lung disease.
heart disease, so kind
Down
of
syndrome.
a variety.
Autism.
Then the week after that is
Summer camp.
2 camps, so blood disorders and those populations. And then Summer Smiles is our only day camp. That is for children with pretty severe disabilities where the overnight experience is just not the best fit for them.
Yeah.
So they'll come and, you know,
Day camp
it's so much fun. Do the day camp. Then after that is Camp Can Do, which is for, thank you, Omega. Then Camp Can Do, camp for children with severe burns, neuromuscular disease, our Coles Kids Camp.
Camp MDA.
Yep.
Camp Corral.
And Corral for military
Good
camp.
gracious.
And we
So-
wrap it up in November.
Right. So,
Actually, that takes us to August 2nd.
Yeah.
yeah, so
believe it.
that is
Good
August,
night.
and then we take a second, and then we transition into a lot of the.
But we have a
weekend
really incredible
offerings,
program
but-
that we all are really proud of too, called Coles Kids, and it is a program that's a year-round program for children of all abilities, and it is our goal through Coles Kids to teach children how to be empathetic and kind and inclusive. And so we do projects all year long. We meet quarterly. They also do this big Midlands-wide lemonade stand where we do like this blitz, but we wrap it up with a camp in August, first week of August for all abilities. So it's children from all types of children, you know, and it really is really incredible to get kids to see each other as kids. And again, not what they were defined by or what the community defines them by. And that's a really, really neat program. Ages for 2nd grade through 7th grade is the camp, but the program runs year round for 1st graders through 6th graders. And it's a really special program that we're really proud of. That concludes the kind of
Good.
And that's it. That's it.
adult weekend. You know,
Yeah.
as we go.
So
But
when do you get vacations?
Yeah. Right now.
We'll let you know. We'll get back to you on
Working on
that.
Yeah.
Good gracious, that's a lot.
Well, to pivot the conversation just a little bit, I always like to ask our friends that join us in this space kind of what are some things that you really like about Columbia? Like if somebody was coming here, I mean, you have that opportunity to talk to people that are actually coming here. Like what are some things that you think makes Columbia a great place or some things that you enjoy here?
I love the outdoor spaces. I have 2 young boys.
Okay.
And so a wise mother once told me that boys love water and the outdoors. She's 100% right. For us, we love accessing the local trails. I am so incredibly proud of the team that did Finley Park.
Oh, yes.
We've already been like 5 times since it's opened. Just accessibility-wise, amazing. Just these outdoor spaces. A beautiful day, like at Soda City Market. I love the way that we really prioritize local business leaders and valuing them. And then I would say I love the way that Columbia has a really wonderful women in business that we have leaned on, that we have access to, that have provided just a great network of resources for us that I think is unique to our city. So for me, it would be the connection and the community of women leaders. And as Margaret Dean said earlier, those mentors to us. And then just the value in the outdoor spaces and having access to those spaces to me is really important. I love my neighborhood and I love where I live, but I don't have a great yard. So having our local neighborhood parks has really been wonderful for our family.
Great.
I think the people, you know, I have 3 girls, so the opposite, or we're not. They like to go outside for a second, you know, but I think the people is just what I have the best friends, and so many of my friends are my friends since I was pre-K, you know, and I'm really proud of, you know, the school that they go to and just the value that Columbia really has taken in education. I think that's just the people are what built Camp Cole. They've what built my community, and I think you can always make a connection with somebody. And I think that's really powerful. You're always like 1 degree of separation away from working with somebody or going to church or going to school or, you know, just those connections. And you can always find somebody that you know or you need, and people are going to show up to support each other. And I think that's one of the big reasons. We love the zoo. So we find a lot of value in the zoo. And
you love food. Columbia food, you're very
good
good about.
Yes,
I do.
We've got a great food thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just had Steve Cook on last week.
He's a supporter of ours as well. He's wonderful.
Cool stuff coming.
Yes.
That they
We've had Steve Cook's restaurants at Camp Cole. So some of our campers have gotten, you know, some fancy food. Thanks to Steve Cook.
The counselors
they were like,
wow. They were like,
all
what is happening?
Yeah.
We were like, we don't know.
But just enjoy it.
And then he brought in pizza from Albuquerque. I mean, it was we were like, Steve, you're
spoiling.
You're spoiling us.
Yeah.
So.
He's a good advocate for Columbia for sure.
Yes.
Well, on the flip side of that, like if you had a magic wand, like money wasn't an issue, like what is one thing that you would love to see come to Columbia? Could be restaurant, could be sports, could be anything. You just wave your little magic wand.
I love adventure, but I would love for more indoor recreational spaces, similar to a museum type or interactive play. I think adventure is wonderful, but I would love to see it kind of updated and more spaces like that. We even love like the State Museum, but it does present accessibility challenges. And so I think having some more recreational play indoor spaces would be really incredible to have.
I don't know what I would.
I mean, it could be anything.
Actually, a Zara.
Oh, a drive-in movie theater?
I would like a Zara.
A Zara, yes.
Shopping.
It's a store.
Fair.
I would like a Zara.
Yeah, that'd be great. I support that vision.
I'm in. I don't know
Okay,
what it is.
Dina, recommend. That's what we need to work on
That's
next.
right, yes. Hopefully people that listen can make that kind of stuff
I
happen.
think the Bull Street District, I don't get down there that often, but I remember when it was starting, I worked at Transitions, and I was like, I don't know if this is really going to, I'm so glad for visionaries out there that could see that change and that long-term development because, you know, they took a chance on putting the Fireflies there. And they're like, this might take a second, but like, let's just keep pushing it. I think that is something Columbia should talk about more is how cool the Bull Street District is and like what I haven't made it to the Gather yet, but people have been raving about it. And I think it's really neat what they're doing down there. Yeah, and I think it just shows, I mean, Gather's awesome. The one in Greenville is a staple now, right? So, like, I think it shows how much Columbians are missing. Like, just the thing that we take, like, other cities take for granted. Like, oh, we got this. And, like, no, this came and, like, this is all the rage. So, I think it hopes to show developers, like, you can bring some cool shit here. And, and I hope people hold on, you know? Like, you know, so good things take time, you know? And so, if it can sustain anything, it comes to Columbia. Like if you can slow grind and stay and trust yourself in the process and your vision, like they're going to believe in it. You know,
Right.
I feel like when you're from Columbia, like I don't really leave. I live in Lake Catherine, so like going to camp, I go to Camp Cole, and then I don't
Trinity Plaza. That's
Yeah,
where
that's
I
about as
go.
far as I go. And
Me too.
I think you just like for Columbia, now that Columbia is growing, like all of us that are especially from here, like we're gonna have to make the change to go a little bit further. You know, like I think that
I forgot about something important that for your question.
Okay.
I wish that we would develop around the river more
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
around water. We have it's such a great resource.
Yeah.
And Greenville has figured it out. I would love for us to create economic development, even over there in West Columbia. I'm a fan of West Columbia.
Yeah.
There's great benefits, but
Yeah.
just developing around that, I think there's so much benefit that can be brought.
Absolutely.
and people joke that Columbia, like we can do like Mexican and pizza really well. So
True. I'm
like,
okay with
Yeah.
that.
like,
You don't see those clothes.
No, those are like the things that can stay. So maybe some restaurant variety. I'm sure Steve is working.
He's
coming.
Got some, he's got
Coming.
some crazy stuff coming. So, mother of 3, mother of 2. What's your perfect Saturday look like if you don't have to work? Like, what are you gonna do in Columbia?
Wait, with or without children?
I don't care. What's perfect?
Okay.
mine do without it. Or if somebody's coming to town, they're like, yeah, I'm coming to town. We're gonna hang out. What should I do on a Saturday? Breakfast, lunch, dinner during the day. It doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of curious.
Like last weekend, we packed a picnic and went down to Findlay
Okay.
and just kind of spent 2 hours. There's even food trucks down there. So we did that.
And I did hear they're going to start doing outdoor movies in Findlay Park. So it won't be the drive-in you were asking for, but it'll be outdoor movie space.
And some live music.
Yes,
I saw that they were trying to line up
So
some
just
artists.
hang in there,
for this-
Columbia.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Findlay Park's
Yeah.
do some things.
So we love doing that, eating outside. We had, of course, a Columbia day where it was 75 degrees in the
No
middle
doubt.
of just January. And so it was like we were going to capitalize on the beautiful
Mm-hmm.
weather. I like to have a little home team, sometimes some
Okay.
of the beverage
There you
from there. Make wonderful. So we'll do that and then just hang out again with friends and family in the evening time and just kind of hang out, you know.
I agree.
What's
Also,
your
it's a lot
perfect
better about
day?
getting outside than being
You can. Your perfect day can be all inside.
We usually go to like Flying Biscuit or Lizard's Thicket for breakfast if we're really like going to have a Columbia day.
Yeah.
We're big Mexican people, so we usually find like Casa Linda or
El Jimador's going to open.
and that one's right near me,
Yeah,
so
I know.
we'll probably hit it up.
Yeah.
We love our neighbors, so we usually find a way to squad parent together and just roam the neighborhood or go to the park. We love Maze Park a lot.
Oh, yeah, it just got redone.
And so we spend a lot of time at Maze Park. We were at Camp Cole last Saturday. We had to work, but just like taking the kids out there to run around.
Yeah.
There's lots of free space for them to see the animals and play.
Now, this might be a silly question, but like for local people on a Saturday, if they wanted to come explore Camp Cole, can they come do that or they
No.
Because you probably have a million things going on.
Yeah, and it's just the safety of like keeping
Sure.
it secure and everything.
But
you
if
know?
somebody wanted to learn more or take a tour, they could reach
They
out.
can
to
reach
you.
out,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Okay.
and we can
Show them the
Time
abilities.
We
Okay.
would love the
Absolutely.
way to learn about Camp Cole and to feel the magic of Camp Cole is come see it. So we encourage anybody who wants to learn more, whether they are interested in contributing to Camp Cole or maybe have a child who wants to come to camp. Like we would love to give you a tour and show you the spaces so you feel comfortable about where your money's going, and that we'll be good stewards of it. But also, if you're a parent and your kid wants to come to camp and you want to make sure your kid's safe and going to be cared for, we do that too.
All right. So one of the last questions. I want you to put on your fortune teller hats. What do you think Columbia is going to look like in maybe 5 years, 10 years? Like you've been here long enough. You've seen a kind of trajectory, and you're grassroots business owners. Like, what do you think? What do you think it's going to look like? Think it's going to be just a bigger Columbia that's been here, or is it going to be completely different?
I think there has been a lot of development, like Bull Street, like going down. You know, I think people are trying to take a lot of pride in, North Main and like building up that neighborhood and that area. And probably really trying to make it to the river and trying to find ways to, because I mean that's like every Columbia's burning thing is like let's develop the river. So I think that I imagine is a priority that they are trying to figure out. There's also a lot of development coming out towards Eastover. And so I think Columbia is growing, and I hope it grows in positive ways with it, not just with housing, you know, that we can find ways to, if you're growing out towards Eastover area and Lower Richland, they need infrastructure like grocery stores and places to shop and restaurants to support the housing that's going in there. So I hope that as Columbia grows with housing and apartments, that we also are growing our businesses and the ways that we can support our community as well, and not just bringing people here, but not like in our education systems. If we're gonna have all these kids moving to Columbia, then we need to have the schools and the infrastructure to support them. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll grow, and I think great things are to come, and I think people are excited about Columbia, but I hope that the infrastructure supports the growth that is coming with it.
Yeah, I know they're working on that right now.
Yeah.
Not for necessarily a podcast, but like McMaster's in the state Senate, and they're looking at doing impact fees, which is something we have fought as a realtor association for decades. Because don't tack it onto houses, but we got to start getting money to be forward thinking to pay for the infrastructure, because we're always backwards. We build it and the roads suck. The roads suck. Well, we have the money to do it beforehand. So if that goes through, I'm not saying it's good or bad, because there's plus and minuses. It could be impactful for good schools and good infrastructure before the growth comes.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think that it will be progressive in 10 years. I do think it's important to understand the landscape of Columbia and of the Midlands, and just really look at, we're a huge military also, and the base takes up a majority of land.
Yeah, the greedy,
and that's
greedy
not
gremlins. There's so much land.
We love our military.
So, and they are, and I don't see that slowing down. Fort Jackson, we are so lucky to have that as a military resource in our neighborhood. To your point, they are not slowing down. We've heard very exciting news and wonderful things that they're developing constantly. So I only see that becoming another active player within the land resources and that development. And then the university, you've got two, to me, those make up a large portion of
I think we have
the
6
economic
colleges.
Landscape is your universities and your military bases.
The mayor's swearing in ceremony, and I'm pretty sure he said like 5 or 6 colleges are here, and that's huge, and to try to educate them on Columbia and prepare them for life outside of college, to stay in Columbia, and work to get these people here, which I think is a big piece that Columbia can really grow from, is really trying to keep people here in Columbia, show them that Columbia is something to be proud of and to stay.
Yeah. That's
sustainable.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right. Well, I think we wore y'all out with questions. So
solve the world's problem.
One podcast at a time. So if y'all love what Camp Cole's doing, we're going to have resources down below. You can find their donation page. You can find their event section. Go check them out. Go see their stuff. We'll have them at a Karma Cake this year, so come check us out there as well.
As always, for more content about Columbia and the wonderful people here, continue to follow this podcast. But for real, thank y'all so much for being here. We just really appreciate all you're doing, and it's a beautiful mission, and we're happy to partner with you as best we can, and we hope everybody will check you out and become supporters of Camp Cole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.